In this tutorial, I want to guide you step by step through making your first recording in Repo. Now, Repo is an example of a DAW or digital audio workstation. It's a complete digital audio production application with a full multi-track audio MIDI recording, editing, processing, mixing and mastering toolset. So that is fantastic, but for a beginner it can be very daunting to make your first recording. You open up the software and you're faced with a blank screen like this and you don't know where to start. So what I'm going to do is very quickly make a recording in a much simpler piece of software. So let's go to Audacity. Now when you open up Audacity, it's possible to get recording right away without thinking too hard about what you're doing. So what we're going to do is make a recording here, learn the basic principles and then upscale them to Repo. So when you first open up Audacity, you can choose which device you're going to use to make your recording. Now you might only have one microphone, but in my case I've got the built-in microphone on my Mac and I've also got an audio interface and I've got a USB mic. So in this case I'm going to choose the USB mic. So it's all here in this drop down list. So I'll choose my USB microphone and you can see then I can adjust the recording levels just by moving this slider here. And the same is true with when I come to listen to what I've recorded, whether I choose to listen to it through my computer speakers or my monitor speakers or my audio interface or the headphone output on my USB microphone. So let's pick that. And again, I can pick the levels here. So it is very straightforward to get it all set up. And then all I need to do is press record. And I start talking and you can see that the sound of my voice is being picked up straight away. Not a problem at all. And then when I stop, I've got my recording in front of me. I can simply go back to the beginning and start playing it back. So that was pretty easy. And then when I'm ready to become a bit more advanced, I can go to the preferences dialog box and I can make all kinds of adjustments to the sampling rate and the devices and the way that the recording is done and so on, but I don't need to think about that in the first instance. So let's go now to Repo and that very daunting blank screen that you get given. Now where do you start? Well, the first thing you need to do is go to the menu here and open up the preferences dialog box. And it is here that you can set the recording device. So under audio, where it says device, in all probability when you open it up, it will be on the default system devices. But what you can do here is adjust where you're going to make the recording from. So again, I could pick my USB mic or I could pick my audio interface. So in this case, let's make a change and pick my audio interface. Okay. So now I know where my recording is going to come from. What I need to do is I need to insert a new track. And once I've got that, that's where I'm going to make the first recording. Now, once you've inserted the track, you actually need to arm it for recording by pressing this button here. Once you've done that, can you see that the meters start jumping about because it's picking up some sound from my audio interface, the microphone that I've got plugged into that. And so now, if I press record and start talking, you can see that it's picking up my voice through the microphone and creating a waveform just like it did on Audacity. But there were just a few more steps to get to this point. So now let's stop. And what happens is I get presented with this dialog box because it's creating a WAV file that I've now got to name. And it gives me a default name, which is date stamped and time stamped. So what I can do is I can select it and then choose to rename it. And I'm going to call it my vocal track 1. Okay, let's save that in the Repo Media folder, save all, and you can see what I've got now is I've got my first recording there called Vocal Track 1 in the first track that I created, and then if I wanted to do another track, all I'd need to do is go here and insert a new track and I'm ready to build on what I've done. So it's quite straightforward and it's quite similar to Audacity, but there's a few extra steps to take to get to this point. If you've enjoyed this and you want to find out more about home studio recording, do make sure you visit my website, which is musicrepo.com, and there you can download a free 32-page ebook that is a great beginner's guide to home recording studio setup. I go through all the equipment that you need to get started and then simple guides on how to get it set up and working. I hope you found this very helpful. Thanks for watching, and if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe so you'll be the first to get all my future tutorials as they go live. Thank you.